Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, John.
Today we're going to talk about the assessments that you filled out, one being the initial interview, where I asked you questions about John's behavior. The other being the questionnaire data that you filled out, such as the DOS and the parenting scale and everything like that. And I asked you to fill out a monitoring form for the week on John's behavior for hitting, and as well as the direct observation when I observed you giving instructions to John after school. Um, so before we get started, the presenting problem seems that John seems to hit people instead of using his words. And is that still a problem?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So first, we're going to talk about the initial interview. In the initial interview, I asked you many questions about John's behavior, and it seems that when he comes home after school, him and his siblings are arguing about the chores that they have to do as far as setting the table. And John doesn't use his words, he hits his siblings in response. Does that sound about right?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So in the questionnaire data, one thing I notice is that you do not feel happy in your relationship with John, as well as you don't feel supported by your partner who is working a lot. Also, you do feel that John does have a good relationship with you when he is behaving appropriately. Also, what would you say that that's correct as well?
I agree with everything you said.
Okay. So I had you fill out the monitoring form. What did you notice using the time sample?
I just noticed that during the week after school, there was a lot of difficulty between him and his siblings, him hitting them after school. But as far as the weekend, it was barely any issue.
Mm-hmm. So in the direct observation, I noticed him coming home from school. He was supposed to set the table, and you were busy cooking. And while you were doing that, you weren't really observing him. And the siblings, they were setting the table at first, but they were arguing about who gets to do what. And after a while, John just got upset because he wasn't able to speak, and he seemed irritated after school. So he started hitting his siblings, and then from a distance you were saying stop, stop, stop. And then after a while, then you started yelling, and then you came into the room, and then you sent John to timeout without even understanding the situation. That's something I noticed. Does that sound about right during observation?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So based on everything that we've gone over, it seems that John is having a difficult time adjusting coming home after school. School seems to cause him to be irritated. Maybe he's tired, and he has to follow chores when he gets home, and being able to communicate with his siblings. It just seems to be very hard for him to communicate, and so he resorts to hitting. And when you do notice the behavior, you seem to wait until it gets to a point where you can't take it anymore, and then you start yelling, and then immediately, because the severe situation is John hitting his siblings, you immediately punish John. So does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is normal for a child growing up, trying to learn to communicate. And for John, he wasn't able to learn the right communication techniques, and so he resorts to hitting. So this is something that is not in too much in the clinical range, but it is more severe than usual because it's happening more frequently than with other children. And right now we're just going to focus on praising his efforts for when he does do his chores, and we're going to act immediately and decisively when he is hitting his brothers by using quiet time and time out, so we can discourage that behavior and use praise to encourage him to communicate and use his words. Okay? How does that sound?
That sounds fine.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Awesome. Oh yeah. So what I feel I did well with this, I think I followed all the steps. I think I followed all the steps, and I was very, I checked for understanding and everything. What I could have done differently is probably got more into the questionnaire data, and really evaluating specifically which points in which assessment. Pointing that out specifically to a parent would have been probably helpful. But I did check for understanding for most of it. And yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, that was the first one. Next one. Okay, so today we're going to be doing our start routine to go over a situation where John needs to start doing his chore, which is setting the table when he gets home from school. And we're going to start with the short side of the start routine. Now we're going to set the scene to where John's coming home from school and now he has to set the table. After he does that, he is going to either listen or not listen. So we're going to do the short side first, where he does as he's asked. Now, in this first role play, I am going to be the parent, and you're going to be John. Okay, and I'm going to ask you to set the table, and I'm going to wait 5 seconds, and you are going to agree, and then I'm going to praise you for that. Okay, does that sound right?
That sounds okay.
Okay, so we're going to begin role play. John, welcome home. It's time for you to start your chore of setting the table.
Okay.
Excellent job starting your chore for setting the table and role play. Okay, so now I'm going to self-evaluate, and then I'm going to think of 2 things I did well and something I can work on. One thing I think I did well, I was very calm in speaking with you, and I feel that I was very positive, especially with you coming home from school. One thing I could work on is maybe being more specific in my praise, as well as maybe a high five, something like that to really get you excited. Okay, so now we're going to swap roles, where you will be the parent and I will be John. And again, we're doing the short side, where you're going to ask me to do the same thing. I will agree after you wait 5 seconds, and then you will give me a praise. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Begin role play.
Hi, John. Glad to see you home. It's time for you to do your chores.
Okay, Mom.
Thank you for cooperating with me and doing your chores.
Okay.
And role play.
And role play. Now you will self-evaluate.
I think I did good with praising, but I was a little anxious with the 5 seconds, waiting the 5 seconds, because I really didn't, in a normal way at home, I'm just thinking, oh God, it probably wouldn't go this way, and in my mind I'm like, it's going to be an issue.
Right. Makes sense. What do you think you did well? Did you say what you did well?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. What did you think you could work on next time?
Just not thinking so negative about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now we're going to do the long side. And the long side is where I will be the parent again, you will be John. And you're not going to listen this time, okay? You're not going to listen, and then I'm going to repeat that instruction, okay? And you're still not going to listen. And both times I'm going to wait 5 seconds, after which I am going to use quiet time or timeout as the backup, okay? So let's begin. Begin role play. John, welcome home. It's time for you to start your chores.
No.
John, I'm going to need you to start your chores.
I'm not doing my chore.
Okay, John, it seems that you're not trying to cooperate right now, so I am going to have you sit in timeout until you're ready to come back and do your chores, okay?
Okay.
And role play. All right, so now I'll self-evaluate. what I think I did well is I remained calm, and I believe I waited that 5 seconds the first time. What I could do better is that second time waiting 5 seconds. I believe I came in too early, so working on that next time. Okay. So now we're gonna swap roles where you will be the parent and I will be John, and I will not listen. Okay, on both times, and you wait 5 seconds for both times you ask me to do my chores, and then the second time after you wait 5 seconds and I say no, you send me the timeout. Okay? Begin role play.
Hi, John. It's time for you to start doing your chores.
No, I don't feel like it.
John, I really need you to do these chores.
No, I'm tired.
Okay, John, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go into quiet time or timeout because you're being disobedient.
Fine. And role play.
And role play.
Okay, so self-evaluate.
I think I did really good with being calm and introducing him to quiet time or timeout without exploding. What I could improve on is seeing specifically what the chore was.
Yeah. Okay. Also, what I noticed is you said now you need to go to quiet time or timeout. So just deciding which one is best. Timeout could be better because it gets him out of the room and maybe gives him some time to relax in his room and just think about the fact that he needs to come back and do it again. Okay? So, how did you feel about the routine that we just practiced?
I felt pretty good about it because it's with you. I don't know how that'll look with John, doing it with John, how things will go. He can be a handful sometimes.
Well, what other ways can you use the start routine? What other scenarios?
One issue that he always had is turning off the video games and going to sleep. So I think this would be a good routine to use at night when I'm trying to get him to turn off the TV and the video games and stuff to go to sleep for school.
Absolutely. So for me, I think I did well. It's just I feel like the 5 seconds doesn't really matter when it comes to them listening. You know, because if they listen, you don't have to wait 5 seconds. You just give them that praise. So I guess I think I did well with that. I think I did well with following the steps and explaining to the parent what's coming. What I could do better is I don't know if I did well with begin role play and role play. I hope I did that well, and as far as I hope it was helpful, my self-evaluations as far as what I think I did well and what I didn't, as far as helping a parent to realize the things they need to look out for next. So like the 5 second, waiting 5 seconds and everything like that being important. So yeah. Okay, Liz, we're going to talk about the practice session that we did, and we're just going to review the session goals, which was that you wanted John to do his chores without throwing a tantrum or hitting, and you're going to now self-evaluate how you think our practice session went today. And remember, the self-evaluation is 2 things you did well and 2 things you would like to do differently next time. So if you could begin.
Yo! sorry, y'all.
No, I had mine off silent too.
Hello. This is my grandma's cell phone. I'm gonna just turn it. Let me see how you turn it on.
You sure you don't wanna?
No, I don't even know who that was.
Yo, your face.
Because I wasn't expecting it. She got an old phone. I don't know how to use this. Oh, wait, let me see. Okay, there you go. She left her phone on.
All right.
Sorry.
No, apologize. We gotta start over. All right. So today we're gonna go over the practice session, and I'm gonna give you constructive feedback. We're gonna first start off with you giving a self-evaluation, but before we do that, our goals for John was to do his chores as soon as he comes in from school without throwing a tantrum or hitting. So we're gonna start with the self-evaluation, and remember, you tell me 2 things you did well, and then 2 things you would like to do differently. Okay, so we can begin with that.
Okay. So, 2 things I did well was I remained calm when giving him the instructions. A lot of times I tend to yell because I anticipate that he's not going to do what I ask. And this time I remained calm and had a positive attitude and just wait to see what his response was going to be. I also think I did a good job at giving him clear instructions and letting him know what exactly it was that I expected him to do.
Now, when you say clear instructions, can you give me an example of one that you said?
Okay, so I was real precise about one of the chores that he has to do is make up his bed and vacuum his floors. So I said, John, please go upstairs and make sure your bed is made up for tonight and that your floor is vacuumed.
Okay, excellent.
2 things I can improve on is the timing. I think being that he had company that was over at the school because they were supposed to do their homework together, I could have waited for them to do their homework together and then asked him to do his chores while his company left. Something else I could improve on was praising him. He did really good with interacting with his company and hosting. Sometimes he had a difficult time interacting with his friends. A lot of times they eventually start fighting because he doesn't want to share with them.
Right.
But he didn't. He did really good, and I didn't praise him or acknowledge him for demonstrating good behavior while he had company and friends over.
What's an example of a praise statement you could give for that situation?
So I could have said, John, I really like the way you interacted with Eric today. You were really cooperative when y'all guys was playing the video games, and you were very friendly to him today.
Excellent. And one thing I did notice is that you were very calm, very, very calm during this practice session. The first time I observed you in the beginning, I could see you would lose your cool, and you would get upset and start yelling. But this time you were very calm. You kept a calm voice, and even though you did, you could be more specific in praise, you were very positive when giving him instructions. All right. So another way you can deal, and as you pointed out, another way you can deal with giving him instructions is waiting for his friends to leave because he's just coming home from school, and I believe they walk home together. So giving them that time to hang with them a little bit is a good plan for next time. So our main issues is just him coming home from school and being irritable, and even with his friends, he can sometimes fight with them. So it seems that he may need some more positive reinforcement, and when he does put in the effort for chores and when he does what you like. So if we could focus on praising more, that would be definitely a great start. Is there any specific goals you want to work on in the next session?
I just want to continue working on the goals that we talked about before, as far as just positive reinforcement and descriptive praise when he do the right thing.
Excellent. All right. For me, what I feel I did well was follow the steps, and ask for more specific examples from the practice session and what you were talking about. I think I did a good job reinforcing what did go well. What I could do better next time is probably let the parents speak more because I kind of was speaking more, and speaking about the steps and everything like that, where this is probably something we already went over with the parent, and they probably already know what they were supposed to do, and I was just supposed to guide them through it versus it was a whole new thing. So that's definitely something I could do differently next time.
Okay.